The Princess and the Paper Boy. Once upon a time, in the magnificent Akkadian Empire, there lived a kind-hearted princess named Flavia. She had everything: jewels, beautiful clothes, and the love of her people. But within the palace walls, she felt imprisoned, yearning for true freedom and adventure. One day, disguised in plain clothes, she visited a village and met Demetrius, a poor yet determined boy who sold handmade paper flowers to support his family. His eyes sparkled with dreams far bigger than his small world, and his laughter was free, so different from the polished yet lifeless nobles Flavia had known all her life. Flavia began meeting Demetrius often, drawn to his stories of distant lands and his hopeful view of the world. Demetrius, unaware of her true identity, fell in love with her gentle nature and the beauty she found in the simplest of things. But their love was forbidden. When the king discovered their secret meetings, he was furious. "A princess cannot fall in love with a commoner," he shouted, locking Flavia in the palace and banishing Demetrius from the city. But Demetrius refused to give up. With nothing but courage, he sought help from an old storyteller who shared a forgotten law. If a commoner completes 3 impossible trials, he may earn the right to marry into the royal family. To win Flavia's hand, Demetrius accepted the challenge. Retrieve the silver rose, which only bloomed on the deadly cliffs of morning. Solve the riddle of the Sphinx, a beast that devoured those who answered wrong. Defeat the kingdom's champion in battle, without spilling blood. The cliffs of morning were named after the hundreds who had fallen trying to climb them. The silver rose grew at the highest peak, its petals glowing like moonlight, but the rocks were icy and slick, and the wind howled with poisonous sharpness. With no gear, Demetrius relied on his street smarts. He tore strips from his blanket to make a rope, wedged stones into cracks for footing, and slowly climbed. A storm struck mid-climb. His hands bled, his body trembled, but he kept thinking of Flavia's smile. At the summit, a skeletal hawk guarded the flower, shrieking in rage. Demetrius didn't fight. He sang a lullaby his mother once taught him. The hawk bowed its head and dropped the flower into his hand. In the whispering cave, the Sphinx waited, her lion's tail twitching. "If you answer wrong, I will devour your soul," she said. Her riddle was, "I am light as a feather, yet no one can hold me for long. I am swift as a shadow, but my song never fades. What am I?" Demetrius thought hard. Feather, shadow, song, and then he smiled. "Breath," he said. "We can't hold it forever, it moves like a shadow, and our last breath leaves a trace in the air." The Sphinx growled, then bowed her head. "Wise boy, you may pass." The kingdom's champion, Sir Garrick, was a mountain of a man, his sword as long as Demetrius's arm. The crowd laughed when Demetrius stepped into the arena, but he placed his weapon on the ground. "I won't fight you," Demetrius said, "but I will dance with you." He ducked, spun, and moved like he was dodging guards in the marketplace. Garrick attacked again and again, but Demetrius's agility confused him, until finally, Demetrius pulled his cloak, tripping him to the ground. Flavia, heartbroken but full of hope, escaped the palace to find Demetrius. She arrived just as he faced the final test, exhausted, wounded, but still standing. The law said no blood could be shed, so Demetrius reached out his hand. "I fight for life," he said. "You fight for death." "The cliffs, the Sphinx, the champion," the king said in a low voice. "But your greatest trial was your love." Flavia kissed Demetrius's wounds as the crowd erupted in applause. This was a love not made by crowns, but by courage. The king, moved by Demetrius's bravery and his daughter's tears, declared, "Love has broken all tradition." On their wedding day, Demetrius wore a simple linen shirt. He never wanted to hide who he was. Flavia, glowing with joy, placed a crown of paper flowers on his head and softly whispered, "You've always been my king." And so, the princess and the paper boy ruled the Akkadian Empire, proving that love sees no status, no boundaries, it only sees the heart willing to fight for it.